What's up, you guys? It's Jonathan Carter back with another J Carter Movies, and today we are going to be talking about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
Don't ever say that name. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is a sequel to the original 1998 Beetlejuice film. The plot of the movie follows the family from the original Beetlejuice as they deal with a death in their family, meaning they have to return to their hometown, to the home of the original Beetlejuice, collect memorable stuff from family times, and with that, Beetlejuice returns and naturally chaos ensues. That is the light version of the plot. In there is another subplot having to do with Beetlejuice and an ex-lover that I'm not really going to get into because it gets into spoilers, but those are our two main plots here. A lot of the original cast returns for this film, including Winona Ryder, Michael Keaton, and there are some great additions to this cast, mainly Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega is phenomenal. She is going to, she's already massive, but she is going to have an insane career. She's fantastic here in this movie. And also, Willem Dafoe is a much welcome addition. So like I said at the top of the video, I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Beetlejuice, but I did go into this one with an open mind, as I try to do with all films. So let's get into this review with the positives. Before we get into this, I do just want to say, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell and all that stuff. It would really help me out a lot. And if you've seen Beetlejuice already, or if you've just seen the original, leave all your thoughts below in the comments about each movie. One of the main things here I want to talk about in the positives is the entertainment level of this film. This is Tim Burton at his wackiest since Edward Scissorhands and the original Beetlejuice. I was a little worried that Tim Burton wasn't going to go full Tim Burton, but no, rest assured, there are some wacky visuals in this movie, wacky plot lines, wacky humor that only Tim Burton can pull off. And to my surprise, it actually felt modern, it felt genuine, it felt like it worked in today's world, it felt like it worked in the movie, and he hit all of those notes to a very successful degree. This movie is genuinely funny. I did see it alone. I saw it in an early screening, packed IMAX theater, but the entire audience was laughing throughout the majority of this film. And I think for a sequel to come out almost 30 years later and in my opinion be stronger than the original, that is very difficult to do. And this movie pulls that off like tenfold over. Now, I talked about this a little bit before, but one of the most welcome additions to this movie is Jenna Ortega. She is so good here. I'm a huge Jenna Ortega fan since the Scream movies, or well, since the newer Scream movies, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Wednesday, but she was great there. I just didn't really like the series that much, but she is phenomenal here. She is a standout. She is going to have a massive career, and she just fits in so perfectly with this world. And lastly, Willem Dafoe. He doesn't get much screen time here, but he is genuinely hilarious when he is on screen. Moving us into the mixed category, there are, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, multiple plot lines here. There's an A plot, there's a B plot, and there's kind of a C and D plot as the movie goes on. Not every plot pulls itself together to finish streamline into one centered plot by the end. I would say 3 out of the 4, so 75% of the plots do come together. There's one plot that doesn't fully pull itself together. It feels like a kind of misstep in the movie, and unfortunately that is Beetlejuice's main plot. And so to have your title character have the least interesting out of 4 plots doesn't really pan out for your movie. The plot with Beetlejuice has to do with an ex-lover. I'm not going to get into too much spoiler content here, but somebody is hunting Beetlejuice down, and that whole plot line actually feels way less important than every other plot line, and it just feels like a little tag onto the movie, like it's kind of like hanging off the back of the film, just trying to be like, hey, I'm a part of this movie, and it just doesn't, it feels very out of place, and that's unfortunate when that is your main character, your title character. Also, that being said, Beetlejuice doesn't really get to shine in this one as much as he did in the original. I know in the original he shows up like halfway through the movie. He has much more screen time here in this film, but he is not as chaotic or creative or funny as he is in the original, and that was a bit of a letdown, especially when you have a massive talent like Michael Keaton. Bringing us into the negatives, really the only thing I have to say here is Winona Ryder's acting is kind of off in this film. Now, I know Winona Ryder has a lot of defenders. I'm a big Winona Ryder fan, but her acting was actually better in the original movie when she was more of a kid. She just does a lot of weird looking around facial expressions here, and it feels very off even for a Tim Burton movie, which is odd to say because Tim Burton movies are like they're supposed to be way all over the place, right? With visuals and storytelling and all of that. Um, really, that's the only negative I have for the film. It's not terrible, it's not bad. It's just when you're Winona Ryder and you're leading the movie and you're this great actress, it kind of pulls you out when you realize throughout halfway through the movie that she's just kind of making weird facial expressions, and that's majority of her scenes in this movie. Also, the movie does go a little too far into the wacky elements at the end, but it pulls it back enough to have a satisfying conclusion. Now, before I wrap up this video, one thing I do want to say, for a movie that follows its original almost 30 years after, um, it follows the original plot very closely, oddly enough. So, if you're wondering if you need to have seen the original Beetlejuice before seeing this new one, I would say yes. There are very close plot points tied to the original film. I actually watched the original film for the first time today, and I'm very glad that I did because I genuinely would have been a little lost. So, you won't be confused throughout this new movie, but if you have seen the original, you will understand this one much, much better. So, all that being said, I was genuinely surprised with Beetlejuice. It was a great time at the movies, and I am going to give Beetlejuice a 7.5 out of 10. And on a see it, stream it, or skip it, I'm going to go with stream it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Like I said earlier, it would really help me out a lot. Leave all of your comments about Beetlejuice, and the original Beetlejuice below, all your thoughts about it. Let me know your thoughts on my video. Do you agree? Did you disagree? And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next one.